Are you currently within or outside the UK and you're looking for a tier 2 visa or a sponsored job? Well, I've got 5 companies that are currently recruiting and are going to sponsor your tier 2 visa. So let's get into the video. So as promised, I'll be sharing with you guys 5 companies that have recently opened their graduate program and are willing to sponsor tier 2 visa. I mean, speaking about graduate program, just in case you don't know, a graduate program basically is for programs, usually 2 to 3 years, that are mainly for people that have recently completed their undergraduate or their postgraduate study, like a BSc, and for postgraduate, I mean PhD or master's program. And you literally don't even need experience, and what you study is irrelevant in most cases, 90% of times. Do you understand? So you don't even have to worry about experience or things like this. So I mean, let's just dive into it, and that leads me to the first one. Now, the first one being Barclays. Now, Barclays is an investment bank, and they recently opened their graduate program in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So you need to apply right now. A lot of people are always applying to Barclays. So try as much as possible. Now, I need to give you an hint. Try as much as possible to apply to the technology program, because unfortunately, Barclays no longer sponsors some roles. For example, if you apply to HR, you've been rejected, and once you're rejected, you cannot apply till the next recruitment cycle. So the program starts basically sometime around next year, September, for 2024. So even if you are doing your program currently now, you are doing your master's program here in the UK and you're graduating in September, you can apply because recruitment is 1 year in advance. So you can apply to the tech one. You can also apply to the investment bank roles, etc., and you'll be fine. But if you apply to the HR role, you'll be bounced. So better still, you can also clarify this with the HR department. Ask them and they'll tell you what roles they are sponsoring. So Barclays is one. That leads me to the next one, which is actually one of the top companies within the fintech space, which is Bloomberg. Now, I personally have applied to most of these companies and I've aced some of them. Like Bloomberg, I was able to get to the final round interview. The process for Bloomberg is kind of thorough and is rigorous, but there's a strategy. Don't apply directly to Bloomberg. Recently, Bloomberg have opened or launched they've actually put out a launch program, which I participated like 2 years ago. It's a 2 weeks program. They will orientate you, educate you about life at Bloomberg, working at Bloomberg, and of course the financial market. It's a program you need to apply to, and it's going to help you with respect to your application process. You need a very good cover letter and a very good CV. Do you understand? Once you do this one, you'll be fine. They will actually invite you to an online test, which is the next one. The test is more of like a personality trait test and of course a logical reasoning. Once you ace this one, you get into the program. If you get into the program, you are actually, the next stage is after the 2 weeks, you will do like a video interview. If you're successful, you will actually get to the assessment center. I mean, Bloomberg is a top company, is in London, good pay, I think around 47 to 50K. And it's somewhere you can actually start, especially if you're interested in finance. That leads me to the next one, which is one of the top banking companies, and this one is CapitalOne. Just like this week, CapitalOne recently opened their graduate program, and they have 3 main roles. There's one around project manager, there's one around technology, there's one around strategy graduate program. Listen, it's a very interesting program you can actually participate in. CapitalOne's starting salary is around 40,000 to 41,000 pounds. They have 2 offices. There's one in Nottingham. Of course, they also give you like a 5,000 bonus for joining them. It's a very good company you can work in with respect to sponsorship and with respect to the decent payment they actually give to you. What's the application process like? Well, you can actually, it's very straight to the point, usually 10-15 minutes. You fill in that online application. Then the next process will be that you do an online test. If you pass that, you do a one-way video interview. Once you pass that, you get invited to an assessment center. And that's basically, they do sponsor tier 2 visa. I am actually sure of that. So you can put in the application. That leads me to the next one, which is one of the top companies within the financial services. But before I actually jump into that, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel because I actually make videos that can help you get the job you are dreaming about here in the UK. And I'm actually talking about BDO. BDO is one of the top 7 accounting firms. And one mistake people make is that people think, oh, accounting firms, the only thing you do is audit. No, actually, most of these accounting firms, they have other services like consulting. They do technological service or tech, basically. So these are things you can also jump into. Now, BDO just opened their graduate program 18th of September. So I'm the right plug to provide you reliable information. So put in the application, because the earlier you apply to these programs, the higher the chances you have with respect to being successful and also with respect to getting a sponsor role, because most companies have limited spot for sponsorship anyway. So BDO application process is very straight to the point. Put in that online application, you do an online test together with a video interview. If you're successful, they invite you to the final round interview, straight to the point. And I actually have someone working at BDO, so it's legit. You can actually apply if you're interested. That leads me to the next one, which is one of the top 7 accounting firms. Now, this one is called RSM. I personally have applied to this company before, and I've been able to ace the application process. So it's something that is very straight to the point. They don't only do audit, like I say. They do some advisory services. You can apply to tax, etc. If that's something that interests you. And of course, if you like audit, you can also apply. Like I said, your background don't matter. Even if you study psychology, you study physics, it don't matter, because in graduate program they just want to know if you're interested in the role and why you want to join why you want to join the company. I beg your pardon. So ISM, the application process is very, very straight to the point. You put in that like 10 minutes, you fill in your academic and professional experience, and they invite you to an online test. If you ace that, they invite you to a job simulation where there will be like a video response and a situational judgmental question. Basically, you're ranking 1 to 5 based on what you would do in a situation. If you ace that, you get invited to an assessment center. In case you don't know, an assessment center basically is just an interview where they will invite you. It's virtually done most times, and you will do like a group work. Sometimes you could do like a one-to-one interview, and sometimes you even do a case presentation. Basically, that's what it's all about, and I'm sure it's something that will interest you. One more thing though, so now that you actually have an idea of the companies that you should apply to that can actually sponsor your visa, regardless of whether you're already in the UK or you're outside the UK, why not watch this video where I actually share top tip on how to ace your interview process, or should I say an assessment center here in the UK. Peace.